Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you that are interested in Hoopa, today we're going to be looking at limit testing when it comes to playing Hoopa, his items, his build choices, his abilities, all this shenanigans, you know what I mean? We're going to look at a lot of different things when it comes to this Pokemon. I'm super excited for it. But at the end of the day, we can't play Hoopa for a while. He doesn't come out like actual games, I believe, until we unlock him, which will be for a little while for a lot of people. I think it's like 7 days realistically, give or take. If we just get those dailies and no other dailies, it should take us a while to get this Pokemon. So we shouldn't necessarily see him in our games via everyone spamming the A button to try to play this Pokemon, all that sort of stuff. We shouldn't see him for a while. But things could change. We can get other ways to get donuts. So we'll see. I do think this Pokemon is going to be super fun. I know a lot of people are excited for him. But at the end of the day, what is he? What is he really? He's an attacker and he's a support Pokemon. But yet, his abilities, though, are going to be game-changing. Like, overall, through the entirety of this game, his abilities are going to be game-changing. Absolutely phenomenal abilities. We're going to start off with Trick today, until we hop into the next one. Now, this Pokemon has the ability to warp teammates and everything else like that. I mean, it sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous, and I know we saw a little bit of build testing and stuff through practice games and a one-on-one. Last night I was here when he came out, the minute of. We weren't allowed to play him in custom games. It didn't have that option for me to play him in custom games. I only had an option to do practice tool. But it looks like a couple hours later, we can play him in practice matches with bots, which is going to be cool because you can see, we can actually look at his abilities more so. Now, like I said, you can look at his abilities beforehand, but without Trick, because Trick works with your teammates, and you can't do that in a practice tool because you're by yourself, so you can't really see, you know, the mechanics of Trick. Now, I want to show you how something that's really simplistic, but at the same time, you got to think about this mechanic. So, for instance, I'm jungling, right? Let's just say I'm jungling as Hoopa. Okay, I'm coming down for that first gank, right? We have bees here, get ready to spawn or whatever. Now, let's say you wait beforehand or you go in when bees are here, doesn't matter, either or. This is one of those things I really enjoy. You steal a berry, right? I'm stealing a berry from this side of the map, for instance. That's the closest one I'm next to. So I steal a berry from over here. And then I engage on bees, or I steal a berry after bees. It's just one of those things where you take away their sustain in that early game team fight. Can be pretty nutty. I think it can be pretty nutty. Also, take a peek at this. So you give them Trick, right? And then you have 2 Shadow Balls. Now the best part about that is you basically use your ally as another body, as you can see, which is kind of cool, but you also have to aim from whatever way they're facing or directing or which way they're going. So you get a little bit of control, whereas if I toss it on here, I get a little bit of control before I shoot it, right? But at the end of the day, whatever way they're going, like if they go away from your control range, you know, obviously you can't hit the Shadow Ball. But it's like you can use them as a target, which is kind of cool. And he also gets a ring over top of him once he's get tricked, which is kind of neat. See the little golden ring? He gets a barrier from Trick, and then he gets, make sure allies know that he's been tricked, which is kind of cool. Enemies can see it as well. So that way they know when I cast my abilities, it comes off of, you know, Haunter, that sort of thing, which is really, really cool. And this also means once you get lower cooldown on your ability, you can spam it. So see, you can throw more than one Shadow Ball at the same time, which is kind of cool. I have been build testing when it comes to maxed out Shell Bell, maxed out Amplifier, which does allow you to get multiple Shadow Balls off at the same time, which is really, really neat. And what that also entails you to do if you're running Muscle Man and that sort of stuff, you know, it gets your, what do you call it, your boosted autos. You attack more, therefore you can stun the target more. So what Shadow Ball does is, see those little circles around it? If I get my boosted auto attack off on that target with those circles up, they get immediately stunned, which is kind of cool, right, at the end of the day? So you can imagine having a little bit of lower cooldown. You can spam Shadow Balls in between your auto attacks and stun a target multiple times in a team fight. But I don't know if this works yet. So like I said, I've been playtesting, so I'm reading other Pokemon's abilities, what might work with Hoopa, what might not. I need to playtest with Blissey. Blissey gives Helping Hand. What does Helping Hand do, guys? It allows the user, myself included. Questionable, right? But it makes my attacks boosted. So what does that mean? every auto attack that I throw on a target, they get stunned because it's a boosted auto. So as long as I can keep throwing Shadow Balls, I can constantly stun you when Blissey's around you in a team fight. As long as I have Helping Hand on, which sounds kind of crazy. And then we have the Unite move, the good and old Unite move, which is absolutely freaking cool. Where teammates can take my portal and go to a different lane and stuff. It's kind of neat. I enjoy it. That's awkward to see. Charizard Unite moving on Hoopa. That would never happen. Let's be real. That's really cool though. Then we can just steal berries. I believe that was stolen from the top side. Because there's no more berries down here in the bot lane. Guys, I just want to leave. Gengar, help me, buddy. Thank you. That's right. That's right. You get in there. I love the fact you can just throw Shadow Balls. It's so cool. Now, if only they would update Gengar's visual effect, because I think Hoopa's looks a lot cooler now. But that's just me. Each their own. You got your little weird scoring animation. Nothing special. I don't know if the skin is going to change it or not. I hope so. Can't really playtest with the skin until we can unlock Hoopa, which is, you know, unfortunate for everybody. But right now, I think this Pokemon's gonna be nutty, like absolutely nutty. Especially when you see his other ability. I'm sure you, like I said, you've probably seen it in practice games beforehand, but that's just practice tool, right? Now we can see it in live custom bot matches. Not necessarily. You can play with your friends here too. Like you can invite your friends and stuff and do these bot matches together. If you guys got like 10 people, y'all ready to play, y'all can try out Hoopa on both teams or whatever. We are running a weird build in this one particularly. I don't know why I'm running this item right now because I'm playing Shadow Ball this game. The next game it might be pretty useful, but we'll see. I got Razor Claw. We have Shell Bell and Muscle Band currently, or Focus Band currently. Now the next build choices we're gonna be running Muscle Band, and we're gonna run Razor Claw and Shell Bell. I'm out here just to be a support, right, for instance, but I'm trying to build test to do different things. Like I said, with Shadow Ball, you can get off multiple Shadow Balls in one fight and stun the target multiple times. There is no like diminishing returns on the stun. As long as you land a Shadow Ball on that target, then boosted auto them, they get stunned. You can stun them multiple times in one situation, which is going to be crazy, isn't it? I think that's going to be really, really cool, but everybody's going to have their own preferences. I think the teleporter ability will probably be used most just because the nature of the ability and what it does. You know, you're able to rotate to different lanes. You can help other teammates who are not paying attention to where they need to be at this given time, and they can also rotate to that lane, which would be absolutely crazy. For instance, like if I'm coming down the gank for bees, right, and then my team is also coming down. Oh, I stopped your Unite move, didn't I, buddy? That's cool. I don't think I'll be able to catch her, unfortunately. Charizard, please leave me alone. See you. I'm out. Get my berry. Dang it. But it's like I'm coming down to gank a lane for bees, right? And let's say, I don't know, we dominate and get those bees right early. Top lane is still fighting, or top lane hasn't contested yet, or whatever. You can just rotate your whole team up there, and you can steal those bees too. So I can imagine you can get to your early Unite move super early in the game as long as you're paying attention and rotating correctly. Whether or not you're in lane or not with Hoopa, I think this Pokemon's gonna be nuts. Especially in a coordinated team. Like absolutely nuts. And he's actually kind of bulky. He doesn't seem like it with the items that I'm running, but I can absorb a lot of damage, it looks like. Because you take Trick, or if you're using Trick, you get shields up, and you throw Shadow Balls. I can't wait to try the other ability with Tricks. I think that one's going to be really fun too. Allows your teammates to teleport. Now this is where it gets fun. Because Shadow Ball levels up, and it does more, because it explodes, so it has like 2 different abilities now. And it goes behind them as well. There's like a little exploding impact, which is really neat. You see that? Which is kind of cool. Gengar's doesn't do that, you know? And I'm a biased Gengar main, but still, I'm just like, wow, that's so neat. I love it though, it's so cool. And you also get lifesteal on your ability, so you do heal for the damage you deal, or that you can do, and your allies can heal you as well. So imagine putting a Trick, right, on Aegis Slash in shield form. He gets a big old shield, and he heals for more when he does damage, on top of being in shield form, and then on top of Trick. So I think this Pokemon's gonna actually be really, really solid, like all around, even if you're not running Hyperlink or any of that sort of situations. Give that to Gengar in a team fight. Imagine that though, like double Shadow Balls on Gengar. That could be kind of interesting. That'd be pretty cool. Obviously, they're not Gengar's Shadow Balls, you know what I mean? But still, I think that's pretty cool. We haven't seen anything like this in Pokemon Unite, and it's about time we get something interesting. I'm tired of seeing, like, you know, your straightforward Dragonite into Serena, you know, all that nonsense. Those Pokemon are great, right? I love Dragonite. Serena, I don't think nobody really pays attention to her anymore, to be honest with you. But it's cool seeing Hoopa, because we get another legendary or mythical, whatever you want to call it. And at the end of the day, a lot of people are very, very excited for this legendary. A lot of people really like Hoopa. But we're going to dive into the next part, get into the next custom game, and try those games out as well. There's a lot of different builds you can run with this Pokemon. It's going to be super fun. And yes, very memey. Think about this. Let's say you're playing in the jungle, right? What happens? Your teammates also like, I want to go jungle. All right, bud. Like, you ready to steal your buff? What do? You drop your go back to base button, you know, your hyperlink, and the ally goes back to base. You get your buff. Move on with the day. I think that's really cool. It's gonna be pretty trolly, but at the end of the day, man, woo, I think it's gonna be fun. I can't wait to actually sit down today and play some custom games with the team, with the community, all that sort of stuff. That way everyone can actually have a chance to play in Hoopa instead of just sitting here playing with bots, you know what I mean? But either way, let's dive into it. See what we got here for game number 2. Sorry about that car in the background. I apologize, guys. Overall, I think he's gonna be pretty great. But for now, we don't get a chance to play him until later. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? I'm pretty sure you can hear me today. I think I fixed the mic issue or sound issue. I'm pretty sure you can hear me right now, which is great. If you can't, just let me know. So now we're gonna go ahead and play test with his other ability, which would be, for those of you that don't know how this works, for instance, Phantom Force. So generally speaking, in a practice tool match, we're gonna try and go through this really quick. Basically, you target a Pokemon, wild Pokemon, any Pokemon, whatever, with Phantom Force. You would teleport to that target out of the ground, do a burst of damage, slow them for a little bit, and then if you hit the button again, you can teleport back. Think of like Volt Switch from Zeraora a little bit. Think of it like that, right? But the ability also has another mechanic to it, where if you trick an ally, they can also teleport back with you to that location where you previously activated the ability, which is kind of neat. And they also get a little bit of, you know, heals and shields from the trick and stuff. So essentially, you can teleport an ally away from the engagement and then hyperlink back to base, so you get yourself out of there, all that sort of stuff, which is really, really cool. And there's a weird mechanic with this ability along with hyperlink, where we'll get to it as soon as I get the ability. We can get it leveled up and what have you. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you can teleport multiple times. Even though hyperlink has an internal cooldown, you can still teleport multiple times. It's a little tricky to pull off. Surprised I got that from Zeraora. You know, being a bot match and everything. But it's a little tricky to pull off, but we're gonna get to it. We'll get to it. I did get that one. Let's go. So we're gonna take hyperspace this time. I don't know how well it's gonna pan out, just because this is a, you know, bot match. I don't know if they're gonna be smart enough to take these and do what have you. But we'll see. I really enjoy this ability. I don't know which one I'm gonna favor more. I think I'll favor the hyperspace. But in a solo queue, like for instance, when I'm playing by myself, for instance, I might just take Trick, because I don't have to. You know, it's a solo queue game, boys. I mean, it's just like, you can't really rely on your teammates in solo queue. Let's be honest. A Wigglytuff on your team is probably going to run rollout, but each their own. Also, fun fact. Yesterday, I figured out, speaking of Wigglytuff, I figured out that all her abilities can crit. Every single one of her abilities can crit. And I think she's the only Pokemon in the game that allows for that right now, besides Aegislash or Shadow Claw. But all of her abilities can crit. Dazzling Gleam crits, Double Slap crits. I'm not certain if Rollout does. That's the next thing I'm going to be build testing here soon. I know that's a little bit, it might be a little bit late, but at the same time, I don't think a lot of people are looking into that. Not that it's going to make her like extremely crazy or anything, but it's just one of those ordeals where Dazzling Gleam does crit, and I've hit targets for like 2200 damage. It's pretty massive, to be honest with you. But in any case, we're gonna test this here as soon as Gibble comes up. So this is one of the best things about this ability. You can toss it on your portal, right? And you can just teleport up there. Now, this is a bot game. I didn't think my teammate was going to follow me. But like, you can come up here for bees. You can come up here for the engagement. i.e. the jungler's ganking another lane and top side and stuff. You can just rotate with your squad, and it does do damage to the enemy Pokemon, which is really, really cool. And then it does have an internal cooldown, which you see on top of the minimap over there. It is the last icon, which I will show you here. So hyper space hole effect cannot warp during cooldown, for instance. But you take this Phantom Force, right? This is where it gets a little tricky. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but as long as you time it right, this is really cool. Check this out. Toss that out, right? You need a target for Phantom Force, okay? So you can't use this ability without a target, all right? Keep that in mind. But if we toss this out, toss this out, right? And then you have to get inside your portal. So you get inside your portal next, and what do you think's gonna happen? You're gonna go back to base. But then you're gonna come back with Phantom Force instead of hyperspace. Are you following what I'm saying? So for instance, do that damage. Go here. Phantom Force. Press R again. You can go back to town. You go back to your portal. Which is really neat. At the same time, it gives you double portals, and you can do this from multiple targets. Because at the end of the day, you do get a cooldown for this ability, and you can just double tap it, essentially, which is really, really unique. I think it's kind of cool. I don't think it's supposed to work like that. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I think it's pretty cool. Really cool mechanic. And this is probably my favorite thing with this Pokemon. I can just steal a berry before I go for an engagement. Now, you notice, what did I steal that time? I stole a speed berry. Somehow. I don't remember how I stole a speed berry, but I just stole a speed berry. Either way, you can get either berries, but in any case, you can steal the berries before you get into the engagement, which is fantastic when it comes to this Pokemon. I think it's going to be really, really great. Let alone when we're sitting here today, and we get the team together, we're playing coordinated matches and stuff. It's just like one of these things. Let's say they're all coming to break this goal, for instance, right? Let's say they get Dreadnought. And that happens a lot in standard games. We just take the portal, we all roll up here, and we know they're going to break the goal. We just roll out, come up here, and start on the Rotom real quick. And get the Rotom down while they take out the goal. There's no reason to stay there because they're going to dominate us anyway. They got their Unite moves and all that sort of thing. And it happens more often than you want it to. Now with Phantom Force, we will be testing Phantom Force with Trick so you guys can see how that works out. Because again, we weren't able to play Hoopa last night when he first came out inside of a actual like custom game. It goes pretty far too. You can Phantom Force pretty far away. But in any case, you can see Phantom Force work with Trick. Because now we can put Trick on allies. And it has an extra effect, which is really, really unique. So again, you can still berries, because bot lane down there still has berries, and you will always be able to take that. I don't think it matters. So for instance, let's say they break the portal, or break the goal in bot lane and topside. I think you can still take berries, because it's the nature of your ability. I don't think the map registers, or your ability registers that there's no more goals that produce berries. I think you're able to just take them anyway, because that's just your ability. Because I know a lot of people are probably going to complain about that ability. Meaning, for instance, let's say before someone playtests this Pokemon or whatever, or get into an actual game, they're complaining about Hoopa's passive. It's going to happen. You know, you can't please everybody. So for instance, Hoopa's passive, Magician, clearly states that, you know, you can steal the berry if there's no more, what? Goal spaces. Berries don't produce. But I think your ability already realizes that and allows you to still take the berries regardless if there's goals or not. You see what I'm saying? That way your passive isn't necessarily useless per se. Because if it doesn't work like that, then I guess you just have a passive that only works in the early game. Kind of like, you know, Gengar for instance, but at least it's better than Gengar's passive. Gengar still has the worst passive in the game, boys. Now Hoopa does do a lot of damage, even though you play like a supportive build. Pokemon does do a lot of damage with Phantom Force, with Shadow Balls. It's really, really solid. Now, he can crit. He doesn't get natural base crit. I'll give it to you. But if you take like Razor Claw or Scope Lens, you can crit on your boosted auto attack. He does do crit damage. It's not super massive, but his abilities do not crit. Okay, so you don't need to playtest or build any of that. His abilities do not crit. Just his auto attacks can't crit, from what I've been playing with so far. Now, we're going to go ahead and burn this goal right fast and just double check if I can still get berries throughout the map. Even though there's no first goals, even though there's no other areas to get berries from, I just want to make sure we can actually still make use of his passive ability. Because again, beforehand, I wasn't able to playtest this as far. But I'm super excited for it. It's going to take us a long time to actually play Hoopa, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I mean, it's great for reasons, but then it sucks as a content creator, for instance, because we can't play the Pokemon other than just playing, you know, practice games and stuff, which is kind of cool. But you got to get a group together so we can do it. Either way. So top goal is broke, and no berries are spawning up here anymore because there's no more gold. Bottom is broke. Oh, look, coins. That's not solid. So what does that mean? What does that tell you? Is it a possibility that Hoopa's passive is useless after you break both goals because you can no longer get berries? You know what I mean? Now I can just take coins, or Eos energies, excuse me. Whatever, I don't know why I keep calling it coins. This is not Mario. So I took coins there, right? For instance. Is it still gonna... That time I didn't do anything. So I'm guessing it takes the nearest Eos energy that's next to you, like, or depending on your position on the map, and just gives it to you. So now it doesn't take berries anymore, which is very unfortunate. So it takes your sustain away in the later game, which I guess can be an issue. So I guess you could say, if you hard focus on saving one of your goals, you will have berries throughout the entire game, right? Because that makes sense, right? Because the goal is still there, producing berries, all that sort of thing. But once that goal is broken, then you just take Eos energy when it's close to you, essentially, which is kind of cool at the end of the day, because you will always have what? Eos energy. But I think the berry part is the better ordeal to pass. I think that's the most unique thing with it. But we're gonna come back to base. We're gonna see how much damage this Unite move can do, even though I'm not running full attack damage, for instance, because I think his damage will scale more so when he does have, you know, items and stuff in that situation, instead of supportive items. Although I'm not really running supportive items, but you know what I'm saying. If I go full damage, I think I can do more damage. I don't think, what do you call it, EXP share is going to be super great on the Pokemon. It might be. It might. It gives you super ridiculous movement speed on top of your already ridiculous mobility when it comes to this Pokemon, because what? This hyper ability, which is really neat. I just wish your teammates would actually take this in a bot match, but they don't, which sucks. But anyway, we're going to dive into the next game. Try the other ability out for it and see what that's going to be like. Maybe he didn't hear me.
You lose.
Yeah. We lose the game. I get it. The whole point of doing bot matches, buddy. Alright. Let's go ahead and check this one out. Yeah, I didn't think he's going to do that much DPS, but I wasn't really sitting here auto-attacking people. But either way, we're going to try this other ability, see what this is like. So again, you can come here in your custom battles, invite your buddies, invite your teammates from your community, your Discord, your friends, whatever. And y'all can all sit here, play together, play Hoopa, take turns, do that sort of thing. So I don't believe we can actually play him in standard and rank just yet. Now, you can try what I wanted to look at a minute ago. Get rid of the focus band here. That's a useless item right now. Just consider we're playing against bot matches, you know what I mean? I wonder if... I don't think this will be super beneficial to him, but we'll see. Blah, 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 blah. Alright. So in any case, we're going to take a look at Trick, so you guys can understand what this ability actually does in this sense. So you do create a shield on the ally, right? And they get the little golden ring. That way the enemy team can know that, you know, hey, that Pokemon has Trick, for instance. So when I use Shadow Ball or perform a basic attack, the linked Pokemon that I linked up with will also throw that ability or damage the enemy Pokemon with basic attack, for instance. So Hoopa increases shields, movement speed, and additionally Shadow Ball will come out. Also, the linked ally Pokemon HP, when it deals damage to the opposing Pokemon, will heal themselves. So you will heal your target when they deal damage. This is why I think this ability will be really, really solid on Aegislash. And it might make him more so viable for a lot of people. Because a lot of people right now, new Pokemon come out, what happens? They play it a couple times, they're like, this Pokemon sucks, or this Pokemon's overpowered, or something like this. Aegislash came out, and if you looked at any of the tier lists out there on YouTube, where was Aegislash generally hanging out? In the bottom tier. Because I think just because he's a brand new Pokemon, a lot of people don't understand his mechanics yet. You know what I mean? Because he's at a high skill cap. But I think Hoopa being in the game now with this ability called Trick might make Aegis Slash even more of a monster than he can be in the later game, especially when you get with Pokemon. Because Trick, in shield form, when Aegis Slash is in shield form, what happens? He gets another shield from Trick, and Hoopa allows him to heal for more damage, even though he's already in shield form. So give him a lot more sustain and a lot more DPS in his other ability. So we're gonna pick up Trick here, okay? That ability there is called Astonish. It's your first ability. It's kind of like Gardevoir's Future Sight, except for it doesn't reset. It has a stun on impact and it hits multiple targets, which is kind of cool. Think of like Moonblast, but a lot better, essentially. I need to get to my next ability to make this more devastating here. So when you activate Trick, it does not copy Astonish or anything like that. It just copies your ally's basic attack, for instance, or Shadow Ball. Throws out a Shadow Ball. It doesn't throw out another Astonish, nothing like that. You guys get over here and help me with these, please? Thanks, bud. So as you see, Blissey throws my boosted auto attacks, essentially, which is really, really solid at the end of the day. But that's all it does, unless you have Shadow Ball up. So Trick without Shadow Ball, I mean, why would you do that? That would make any sense. You need Shadow Ball for Trick to actually play off more DPS and that sort of thing. Absol, bro, get over here. What are you doing? That was awkward. Can I please level up? Please. That's all I want, guys. That's why I think experience share might be viable in this Pokemon, just because, again, you'd be teleporting between top and bot lane, rotating more so than a lot of other supports. So now we can take Shadow Ball. We looked at that last game, for instance. We're going to look at Phantom Force and see what Phantom Force does with Trick, which I'm super excited for. You pop that. Maybe it won't work very, very well with bots, but we'll see. I mean, that's what we're built testing for anyway. I love the fact how bulky I get with that shield. It's really, really cool. Now, okay. Oh no, not today. You may be dead, but I'm not. Hold that for me. Or yeah, bud, come here. No. We'll never know. We'll never know what Phantom Force does with these bots. We'll never know. That's really unfortunate. But either way, it's like you do a little teleport here, for instance, and whatever target that you trick, essentially, they can also take that teleport back. Which is kind of neat, right? Makes sense. But you only do one target at a time. In a bot match, I don't think they're going to take it. They're going to take the portal. I don't think they're going to take my hyperlink or any of that sort of thing. But either way, I think the ability is going to be really, really fun. We won't really know until we can actually fully test it in the standard and ranked games. Because other players can actually take your portal as well. Which would be really, really cool. I do have that on him. No, you see, he's not taking it. He's just going to run away. So it's going back to the portal. That's unfortunate, guys. Can I have my berry, though? Thank you. That was close. Dude, it just does so much damage. Like, being able to just boost another ally with that. Oh, dude, it's so crazy, team. It looks really, really cool. Don't run. So yeah, he does copy my boosted auto attack. That's kind of neat. Or Shadow Ball. That makes sense. Because now we're going to attack the Rotom together, right? Yeah, he's doing autos as well. With my ability. Trick up. That's solid. Now, the cool thing about this would be, if I'm taking Razor Claw or Scope Lens, my auto attacks, do they also crit when an ally has been tricked? You see, there's a lot of build testing to go around. Man, we're going to get there. We're going to do it. So in other words, Cinderace is like up here, where Gardevoir is going to, and he has Trick. And I'm way back here, and I'm auto attacking. Does his auto attacks also apply my crit rate? I wonder. Don't run away from me, bud. I got you. Now I don't. Now you need to run. This ability is so freaking cool. Holy crap, this is so cool. Actually, probably the coolest Unite in the game. Hands down. Like, hands down. Even though he has, like, magical arms. But still. So we have Trick level 2. What does that do for us? Bigger shields. Neat. I love it. Love the ability. Now, you can also score. You can also score with this ability and run away. So, like I said, think of it kind of like, what do you call it, Volt Switch. You can score here if you have enough coins.
You're on fire!
You can do it, but if not, obviously it fades, just like Volt Switch. So you can score like Zero Aura does and get out of the situation. But you have to have a target before you can Phantom Force. If there's no target, I can't just Phantom Force like right now. I have to Phantom Force to a target, for instance. Now, once you get to that location, he does a little knock up, and he has like a boosted auto attack that does a pretty ridiculous amount of damage, to be fair with you. It's pretty strong, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't seem like it, but that auto is quite a bit. Get in there, Holowear. That's right. So actually, she takes all of my auto attacks. Every time I auto attack, she will auto attack. Okay. I feel that. I like it. Come here, Holowear. Get this. Thank you. Nice. Dude, I can't wait. We're gonna get Scope Lens up next. That's gonna be kind of cool. I like how she just holds the ring in her little arm. Neat. Alright, let's get up out of here. We need to get Phantom Force leveled up first to try up its next ability. And see. What that does is, once you level up Phantom Force to the next stage, it allows the user, myself, I would assume just me. I don't know if that applies for your allies. So what I mean is, when you level up Phantom Force to the next stage, right? Let's say I Phantom Force a target, for instance. I Phantom Force. I get invulnerability. I'm invincible for that split second or that second. We'll see a buff on my icon here in a minute once it's leveled up. That way we can see how long it lasts. But I'm curious whether or not if that buff will link to an ally when they Phantom Force or when they take my portal. You know what I'm saying? That way they're also invincible. But there's a lot of things we have to test, but we're not going to be able to figure that out in this bot match because they're not going to accept the button, or they're not going to hit the Phantom Force to go back to base. Whatever, dude. We'll figure it out. We need to do this. I think I'm dead here either way. Hoopa does so much damage, though, I think. I think it's pretty nuts, to be honest with you. So, in a situation like this, right, they're all taking that goal. I can hyperlink from here to top lane. We can just rotate the whole team up there and focus on that rotom, for instance. Because we know they're going to take the goal, right? I think that's pretty cool. It's like get out of a jail free card, essentially. Which is kind of unique. But either way, we're going to dive into the next one. Get some more build testing going on. We're going to try a little bit of a trick, Shadow Ball with crits and stuff. See if that works out. I doubt it. Well, we never know. So, wait, where did that go to? Okay, that went over to Blissey. Interesting. So even though you're a melee type... Absol, come here. God dang it, man. Chill. How are you having so much trouble killing this Pokemon? Are you serious? So here's that. So he's melee and he does... Oh, that's so cool. So there's a little range indicator on it, which is neat. Give this back to Absol. Movement speed buff. There you go. Oh, that was a nice boosted auto attack. I can appreciate it. Well, you're dead. Don't ever do that. Run into Lucario like that, guys. Not a good idea. Love the fact it has a knockup. Nope. Here go Blissey with it for me. I got you, girly. We got this. Keep going. This is so cool. No, Slowbro. Use a jerk. But it's neat though. Like the amount of movement speed you can get. Wait, come back. I need helping hand. I need to know. Blissey, you can be my tester. Where are you going? You have the ability. Blissey, we can be friends. God dang it. Absol, I need help, buddy. Assistance. Thank you. Give you shields and we kill these guys? Yes, we do that. Oh. Wow. I actually survived that burst damage there. Oh, okay. That was a lot. But either way, I think the Pokemon is pretty nuts. I think that he can take a lot of damage, even though I'm not running tanky items. It's kind of interesting. I was alive there, even though I wasn't being super heavily focused. But you know what I'm saying. Like, in that situation, I think I'd probably just get deleted. But I gotta see the bare stats on Hoopa, like the statistics, the defense stats, the HP, all that sort of thing, before I can make that final decision. So as soon as those stats go live, for instance, which generally appear on different Pokemon Unite websites or whatever, I'll figure it out. Because there's a lot of build ideas I have with the Pokemon. I just don't know if it's going to be viable, depending on how squishy Hoopa's going to be. But let's see. We're going to dive into it. We're going to do a Shadow Ball crit build. And I'm going to figure out whether or not I can give my auto attacks to my allies, make sure they crit as well off my allies. I don't know.
You lose.
My sound is too low. What? I don't know, man. We're going to double check. We're going to try it. I'm surprised it's so low. Why is it so low? Like, Let me try something, boys. Let me try something. Hold up. I got this. We'll figure this shit out. Because every single time I do this, let's try that. Let me know if I'm super low again. We're gonna try it. I might be louder. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. I hope not. Dang, man. Give it a second. Give it a second. See if it kicks in. See if it kicks in. Let's turn this up more then. Alright, it's all maxed out. We're gonna see. I doubt it. I doubt it fixes. I don't know why. And it's interesting. It's still low. I literally have the mic like at my chin essentially. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm not sure. I use like a standalone mic. You can't hear me? Huh. Not much of a difference. I wonder why. Let me check something out. Hold on. Considering we got 53 seconds. Wonder if it's something to do with... Let's try this here. Is that still too low or no? Or is this better? Or worse? It might be better. I'm playing around the settings in the recording thing, see if it changes or not. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because now... Oh, okay, maybe. Maybe that's better, I'm not sure. We'll find out. It's better? Alright, I think I understand what's going on here. Appreciate you, buddy. So I guess we just turn that all the way up and see if that actually plays a lot better for everybody. Hey, appreciate you, bud. So, this time around, obviously, like I said before, I don't think you guys heard what I was saying obviously beforehand, but when Hoopa first dropped last night, I was up. We was on it. We was looking at it. But we weren't able to play this Pokemon in, like, we're not able to play in standard games as far as I'm aware, or ranked last night, for instance, so you can play a standard game with Hoopa or whatever. It wouldn't let you do it. The only practice games I was allowed to do was Practice Tool with Hoopa. But it looks like today I'm able to play Hoopa in custom games. I wasn't able to do that yesterday. So, or a couple hours ago, whatever you want to call it. Now, if we can play this in standard, or ranked, or whatever, obviously tonight we will probably be doing that, or later today we will probably be doing that with the Discord community, with, you know, whatever. Everybody can get a chance to play Hoopa. I'm super excited for this Pokemon, because I think this Pokemon is going to change the metagame, like, entirely, like, on its head, essentially. Just because hyperspace. Now, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try Trick. Whether or not this is gonna work, we're gonna find out. I messed up. Forgot to change my item right quick. But we're gonna try it and see. We're gonna build sets just for a quick second. I want to find out if my Trick that I throw on an ally when they auto attack an enemy, right? Can it crit? I don't know if that'll make it better or worse, essentially. But it's like you get 2 crits, your ally crits for you, and then you crit on top of that. I mean, I think that sounds pretty solid to me, you know what I mean? But we'll see. I'm going to probably give it Scope Lens. I don't think Razor Claw works out, even though Razor Claw specifically says melee attack, right? It specifically says that. But you will still get the Razor Claw proc on Hoopa when you're in melee range. How do you get melee range? Well, what ability that you have throws you in melee range? Phantom Force. When you pop out of the ground, you hit everyone around you. Razor Claw procs gives you a slow. So it does work with Hoopa. I tried that earlier. But we're going to see whether or not my allies can crit. If I can get there quick enough. Nice. Alright. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. I'll probably be disappointed and it probably won't work. But we're going to see. Dude, I appreciate you guys, man. We've been trying... Oh, we can play in standard now, boys. Okay. Alright. But see, the best part about it is... Well, no. So look. Beforehand in standard games, ranked games, or whatever, you could favor your Pokemon, right? You can favorite them. That way, as soon as you get into the match, you just press A button, spam A button. You can't do that with Hoopa. Why? Because you don't own her. You don't own them. So you can't favor the Pokemon. So you actually have to, like, scroll over and click the Pokemon. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get them every time, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you won't get to that game where sweaty people are just, like, smashing the A button and doesn't allow you to have fun. You know what I mean? But we'll probably still play the standard games as usual and get into a game where someone doesn't get it and they'll just go AFK. It's going to happen, guys. I do think, with Hoopa being out now, this is probably going to be one of the hardest Pokemon to actually sit down and play. Just like when Dragonite was out. Dragonite was one of the most popular Pokemon in the game for a very long time. Legit in every single game almost. I think Hoopa is probably going to be the same. Mythic Pokemon, Legendary Pokemon, whatever you want to call it, in the game. Oof, I can't wait. I wish I can keep Astonished, though. Like, there are some abilities, like you have in your base Pokemon pre-evolutions or pre-level ups, that are just better overall. Alright, here we go, Lucario. Hold that for me. Can we crit, bud? Can we do a crit? Just one time? I need to know, Lucario. I need to know. As long as they're in the range of the Pokemon, it looks like they will continuously auto-attack with my ability on them, which is kind of neat. But as soon as they walk out of the giant circle, which you can see the circle here when I'm holding down the A button, or B button, whatever you call it, you can see the range of their auto-attacks. But as long as they have Trick on them and they're auto-attacking or in the range, it can crit. It just looks like it has a low chance overall, because Hoopa does not get crit as they level up. So essentially, I have like a base crit now of 5% because Scope Lens, which is very, very small. So it might not be super viable in that situation. I'm sure it's a fun mechanic and it probably does work. It would make sense. But I don't think without base crit. So for instance, Machop, right? At level 5, you get base crit. At level 9, you get base crit. So you constantly will have that passive crit. Whereas Mr. Mime or Wigglytuff, most special attackers, Gengar for instance, they don't have that passive crit as they level up. So you have to get it through items. I don't necessarily think that trying Scope Lens out will probably be super... Oh, well, I mean, I can crit with it. You saw the crit from me, but I didn't see a crit from an ally. I guess that's the big thing. It looks like just basic damage from them. It doesn't look like that's going to be able to crit, which is very unfortunate. I don't see anything from it coming from anybody else besides myself. But the cool thing about it is you hit this up and you throw Shadow Balls. The best part about that is running Shell Bell and Amplifier, right? Gives you lower cooldown. What does that mean? More Shadow Balls. Which is kind of neat. And you will always do damage with Shadow Balls. Because unlike Gengars, I'm going to make this comparison even though I'm a Gengar, I'm a main of Gengar, and I'm biased with the Pokemon, but... So, when Gengar throws a Shadow Ball, what happens? It passes through wild Pokemon, right? And it collides with the first enemy Pokemon hit. Right? Does damage. Hoopa's goes through all targets. You see that? All targets. So, what does that mean? Shadow Ball and Lucario, we're hitting everybody with Shadow Balls. Everybody. Which, if you scale up special attack, I'd imagine can do a lot of damage. Especially when you get to the second form of Shadow Ball. I think this ability is going to be really, really solid in team fights. Because you can be at a very, very safe distance and just use Lucario in, for instance. As the go-in dummy. You know what I mean? Type thing. Or the body to go in, essentially. I think Trick will probably be more beneficial when you're throwing this on like a tankier Pokemon. Because they do survive longer in team fights, so that also gives you a more opportunity to give them Shadow Ball. Or throw out Shadow Balls, whatever you call it. I think it does a lot of damage, to be fair. Even though you're not running full DPS items. I am in the situation, but yeah. We're probably going to take out Scope Lens, because I don't think that's viable. And it doesn't look like Shadow Ball does crit at all. Unlike Wigglytuff's abilities. Which, again, if you guys didn't hear me beforehand, all Wigglytuff's abilities crit. And I think she's the only Pokemon in the game that can do that right now. Every single one of her abilities can crit. In case y'all didn't know. Which is really, really unique. Only other Pokemon that does something like that is Aegislash with Shadow Claw. But eats their own. Now, considering you weren't able to hear me beforehand, see how this goal disappeared, right? The enemy goal is gone, right? So what does that mean to Hoopa? So, check this out. Bot lane's goal is gone too. That means no berries, right? So look. No berries. That sucks. And a lot of people are going to complain about this. And they're going to say Hoopa's passive is useless after the goal is broken, blah, 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 blah. It's going to happen. People are going to complain because people like to complain. But in the early game, for instance, Hoopa will continue to get berries as long as there is an enemy goal up. Like the first goal, like the one down here, as long as that one's not broken, you will constantly keep getting berries throughout the game with your passive. But once that goal breaks, you get no berries. Which sucks. So you just start taking AO synergy. Which is not the best, but at the end of the day, at least you get something for your passive. It feels like at that point, once it breaks, once that goal is broken, right? Hoopa essentially has a worse passive at that point than Gengar. If that makes sense. What do y'all think? And we all been saying Gengar has a worse passive in the game, for instance. But once the goal breaks, what does Hoopa's passive do? It just takes Eos energy, which you can just walk over essentially and just pick up. I mean, it's not really like inconveniencing anybody just by picking up Eos energy, right? I mean, there's plenty of it. It's everywhere. Kill a wild Pokemon, someone dies. There's Eos energy everywhere, essentially. Now, I don't know if people will complain too much and they'll change the passive because, that's how a lot of things work nowadays. Complain about something gets nerfed, buffed, whatever. It's a possibility. All right, Greeting, can you come here? I need to do these things. Thank you. No, never mind. Man, can never test stuff. People are dying on me all the time. That junk does a lot of damage. It really does, and it does crit, as you can see, which is kind of unique. So running scope lens on this, I can see the crits becoming more so, because your abilities, when they do lands, they hit multiple times. That's multiple chances of what? Getting a crit. Makes sense. Now laser beam, apparently that can crit too. Because we saw that do 1.8, even though I took like 2.1 from Absol there, which is kind of cool. And we will try Hoopa's other ability here. We will play with Hyperlink and see how that works out, even though I don't think my allies are going to take it. But considering you guys couldn't hear me beforehand, I can show you a little trick with the Hyper ability, which is going to be kind of unique. Whereas you can run, what's that ability called? His other ability. God dang it, dude. I forgot it. It'll come to me later. But this is so cool. So you have a targetable ability with Shadow Ball, depending on which way that you have the thing facing, and it breaks off as soon as their link disappears. Even though they don't have a shield on them anymore or whatever, you still are linked as long as that gold link is on Absol, for instance. So I can still throw Shadow Balls, for instance. And the cooldown is actually really short. If I run the Amplifier Tome, it's a little bit shorter, not by much, but it's still shorter, so that does still give you multiple Shadow Balls. And once this ability levels up a level 13, it does even more, because it does like little AoEs behind it, like on the ground. Like they call them blobs for some reason inside the text. I'm not sure why, but I wish we can get down here and play test with the hyper thing. I'm probably going to get some people into the games here, in these practice games, so we can actually try this and see what happens with this ability when it comes to his other one. I think it's pretty cool. It does do a lot of damage. Not necessarily as much as Gengar's Shadow Ball, and we all know Gengar's Shadow Ball does quite a bit. But it still does decent damage. And I got off multiple Shadow Balls there in that little situation there. So now it's ranked up. So what does this look like here? I guess we'll know as soon as we get into a fight. What do you guys think of this Pokemon? I think it's gonna be pretty busted. And let's be honest. Come on now. Be fair with it. I think it's gonna be pretty busted. Not just because it's brand new, not because, a lot of people are not going to have a lot of experience with this Pokemon. No. I just think this Pokemon in itself, unlike Aegislash, for instance, probably is not going to have that super high skill cap. You need that coordinated team to pay attention to, your hyperlinks and that sort of stuff. So I think it's going to be a little bit more straightforward, which is kind of cool because Aegislash was difficult, right? For a lot of people. Still is difficult for a lot of people. Whereas Hoopa has a little bit of a smaller learning curve, but at the end of the day, brings so much to a team composition. So for those people that play in, what do you call it, like Discord and stuff, what happens? You guys are more coordinated. You guys are going to pay attention to, your hyperlinks as Wigglytuff just crits Sylveon to death somehow. Leave me alone, buddy. I just want to be friends. I feel like, though, when I don't have an ally, like, next to me or around me,
feel a little lackluster because I can't give anyone else trick. I can give myself trick, which increases my movement speed and my shield and all that sort of thing. But I feel like Hoopa is better with an ally because your abilities do more when they're linked up with another ally. And when they're not, they don't do as much. So think of yourself like, have you guys ever played League of Legends? I hate to make this comparison. But Hoopa has a similar mechanic to another Pokemon in there called Yumi, where she jumps into an ally and she gives them buffs and shields and that sort of thing. But once that ally is down or dead or whatever you want to call it, she's very lackluster. That's how I feel. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know why I keep position changing. That's my bad. Now, for those of you that may want to hop into this game and playtest Hoopa yourself on the enemy team, come on in. And there's the code. Hop on in. Dude, Hoopa is just gonna, I think she's gonna make, or he's gonna make a lot of fun plays inside these teams in a duo situation, whatever. I think he's gonna be really, really solid, like overall. I'm gonna go ahead and post this code down in the Discords here and in the chat box. That way other people can actually hop in if they want to do this or not. Let me see. Let me see. But they also stated in these patch notes, apparently, that, what do you call it? They gave us updates to the 4v4 maps. I'm not keen on those. I don't care about those. Some people, sadly enough, in the Discord are going to be super excited about it. And we know who they are. But it's one of those things where, for those of you that actually play those game modes, it is what it is in that situation. Alright, buddy. I'll see you in a second. Now, we got fish in here. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Like I said, I think this is a lot easier and a lot better for a lot of people because you can actually sit down and do a little bit of playtest other than trying to get upset because you can't play Hoopa because, you know, standard and people just taking it from you. So this works out. We're starting in 2 minutes here. Now, when it comes to us and our group here in Discord, I'm excited for this crap. I really am. I don't necessarily care who's going to be like, I play it first type thing. I don't care. Everyone's going to get a chance to play it. That's fine with me. But it's more so, we've been playing quite a bit together the last couple of weeks and stuff. For a lot of us here, for instance. And I think a lot of our synergy is going to be pretty solid. Oh, Goku's also here this morning. He's in the Discord. That's pretty exciting. Okay. I'll see you in a minute, buddy. So, like, Green's going to hop in as well. That's kind of cool. So you think tanks are going to love Hoopa, huh? See, that's exactly what I was thinking about, too, because if you put your trick, right? Let's say you're running trick instead of the hyper thing. I think a lot of people are probably going to play with hyper. But in solo queue, I think trick will be better because solo queue, people aren't coordinated. They're not going to rotate your objectives anyway. So 9 out of 10, who's to say that they even use your portal, right? But in any case, putting that on a tanky Pokemon, it's going to probably be a lot better, more beneficial. Let's give this a shot, team. See what happens here. Have some fun. We'll do a couple of these, and probably a little bit later on today, we're going to probably play a bunch of stacks with the squad. Duos, doubles, whatever you want to call it. So we can take off my scope lens, because I don't think that works the way I want it to work. Either that, or if the crit rate is too low for it to give off those crits on your auto attack for that ally. So I wonder if we run straight DPS or straight tank and see how that works out when it comes to Hoopa. But we'll see. I actually want to try this as well. This will be a little bit interesting. Okay. Alright. So Goku's on this morning. So for those of you that are here in the chat or what have you, those that play with us in the community, it looks like we do have enough to play for trios, to play for fives already. I mean, I say this morning just because it's raining outside and it looks like it just woke up type thing. But it's like 1 in the afternoon. But either way, we got enough people. For those of you that are interested in playing. Do you think EA is good on Hoopa? I do, to be fair with you. I think a lot of people are probably being pretty good with this Pokemon. Because you got to keep in mind, bro, you're literally just tossing out a hyperlink. And then you hope that your teammates take it. Let's be honest. Because in a solo queue world, for instance, we all play solo queue. We know what solo queue's like. I'm sitting down here trying to do Dreadnought, and you got 4 of our other allies in the top lane fighting already. You know, it happens pretty much every game, let's be honest. So if I drop down a hyperlink on this this little goal here, do I think my ally's going to take it in solo queue? Probably not. If they do, what would happen? We might get value, you might get something in another lane. Yeah. But I think Trick will probably be more beneficial or more viable to you because you're playing with a non-coordinated team in solo queue, for instance. As, like right now, Lucario. I mean, I get it, it's a bot game, he's just going to do something stupid anyway. But I think Trick will be a lot cooler in that situation. But we'll see. We'll have to play test. We'll see if Hoopa actually is easier to climb with in solo queue, opposed of being in groups. Groups will be more coordinated because you can, you know, hyperlink everybody, which is going to be pretty solid. Now, we're going to play with this because this is another thing it does. You can safely deal damage to enemy Pokemon that are inside this area, which is kind of solid. Although this Wigglytuff is kicking my butt, unfortunately. Got everybody down here. Come on, Lucario, go in. You're good at that. There you go, buddy. Nice job. Look at Lucario. Oh, well, never mind. He was being a good guy. Okay. So that is something I need to playtest there too. I appreciate that. That's kind of cool. So while you're on this, while it's on the little score pad, it doesn't deal damage. Now out here, for instance, it does do damage. But it does initial burst. So maybe that's also a thing I have to pay attention to. But I would assume even though they have score shield, there's probably not enough damage to break them when you pop it on a goal. But I could be wrong. It does do a solid amount of DPS though. Nice damage. Which I'm interested in. I think if you probably run full damage, you can probably just use this as a super aggressive. Be super aggressive with Hoopa. And just pop it every time it's off cooldown. It does free damage. It doesn't have a burst window when it ends or anything like that. It just has a burst on impact, it looks like. Which is kind of cool. Right? Yeah, that's it. Can I have one of your berries? Thanks. Yo, you're so aggressive, buddy. You're so aggressive, Cinderace. Get out of here. Y'all are so mean to me, boys. So mean. Just want the bees. That's it. Wigglytuff, go in another lane, bro. What are you doing here? Alright, so can you do the score thing, Cinderace, please? Dang it. So the reason why we picked up Floatstone, particularly, is because it gives us that movement speed. Obviously, this is a bot game. It's not going to help you out, to be fair with you, but you're able to rotate from A to B. And I want to see, by throwing this on this goal, all my teammates go to bot side. Because, hey, look, there's Dreadnought. They do not. They do not rotate. Okay, that's cool. Now, just like solo queue, they probably won't rotate. So I'm no surprise there. So anyway, that does damage, but that's it. It doesn't continuously do damage on the goal, so they can sit there and score after you drop the ability, which is really unfortunate. My boy's here missing all his abilities today. Okay, so it doesn't work. That's kind of neat, though. Are you going to take that portal back? No? Uh-oh. No. I think this Pokemon's going to be nuts. Uh-oh. Hey. Hey. You won't. Dang it, he landed it. Sad day. Okay, sweet. So now there's another factor there. We took out the top side, but we still have the bottom goal from the enemy squad. Does that mean I can reach from that far away and steal your berry, or what? Yeah, that's so cool. So as long as they're a goal up, it doesn't necessarily matter. It doesn't matter where you are on the map or what have you. You can steal a berry from either lane depending on what side you're on, it looks like. So considering I'm on the bot side, because top is gone, I'm stealing what? Bot side berries. Makes sense. But as soon as that goal disappears, what happens? You can't take berries anymore. Your passive becomes kind of like Gengar's passive. A little bit useless, to be fair. Hey, rude. I'm gonna walk away. Lucario, you need to not be there, bud. Okay. Ooh. Nope. Not today. Dude, that laser beam looks so cool. I'm really digging this Pokemon, dude. I think she's gonna be fun. Or she, he, it, whatever you want to call it. This mythical Pokemon's gonna be great. See ya. Well, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think that's been pretty solid, man. Pretty fun ability. I really like that ability, dude. It's really neat. I feel like a smooth criminal. So now we're in another lane. Eats the run. I save you, Blastoise. I save you. No, I won't. Good job, Gardevoir. You did your job. You did a thing. Yo, I wish my teammates would go down and be like, hey, objectives. And I'd be like, cool. But nah. Dang it. It doesn't do a lot of damage. It's unfortunate. Cinderace, can we talk about this, please? Buddy, can we talk about this? Give me the berry. Oh, that's right. I'm on top side. So, yeah. That's unfortunate. Now, another thing, like I said, I'm thinking about doing with this ability is taking Hoopa in the jungle side. And that's just me, you know, because I like playing in the jungle. That's probably where I'm going to go. But I might go in lane because I like to think that this Pokemon's going to be solid in bot lane. Oh my gosh, he's going to be really, really good in bot lane. And in top side. In solo. Because he can just rotate whenever he wants. I'm calling Hoopa she from now on. I don't care if it's triggering people. It is what it is. Apparently, I just keep saying she. Maybe because he's pink. I'm not sure. But even in top lane in the solo, like when you're doing that 1-1-3 type thing, I think it'll be really, really good. Gardevoir, you could have left, buddy. You could have just went to the thing and just rolled out. Like, that's all you had to do. I ain't coming back. I'll wait. But yeah, it doesn't look like your allies in bot matches are smart enough to realize, hey, there's a portal on the ground. Hey, I can take that type thing, which sucks. It is what it is in that situation. But other than that, it's pretty solid. Yo, y'all cheating, man. Y'all cheating. Y'all cheating. No, I wonder. We won't know. He drops a portal here, and allies can supposedly take that portal when they're in base side. We won't be able to figure that out in these bot games unless, you know, we're playing in customs with teams. You know what I'm saying? That way they can actually hop in and take the portal and roll out type thing. Well, for right now, I think it's going to be pretty good. Oh, you have a Unite move. You did it. You're so good at this game, Gardevoir. Good job. You're going to go to the portal? Dang it. I want to see the ally go in the portal. That's all I want to do with this game. That's it. That's it. But after this one, we'll probably hop in, do some standards with the squad, and see how it works out. Oh, sweet. Dude, wow. Okay. Alright, I'm digging it. It literally just get yourself out of jail free card. That's so cool. I wonder if so like I was saying before, in a 5v5 stack, right, when you're in a coordinated team, for instance, you're at Zapdos, right? And we all know what happens at Zapdos. All right, let's be fair at Zapdos. For those of you that don't know, who only play solo queue. So generally speaking, in a 5v5 stack at Zapdos, you're generally chilling in the bush. You know, you're hanging out, right? You're waiting to get a pick or that sort of thing. As soon as you run in, what happens? Enemy team blows your night moves. If for some reason you're able to time that ability, meaning time your what do you call it? See ya. So in other words, if you're able to time your hyperlink, right, at the moment where everyone's going to throw their burst, you can essentially just move your whole team, avoid the burst damage, come back with your unites, and just kill everybody. I know that'll be super duper hard to do, because you'll have to avoid a lot of things. You'll have to be patient. You'll have to know. So in other words, if you drop this right when everyone starts doing their stuff, your teammate hops into it. Everybody that's in that circle, though, will teleport, right? So this ability, in a sense, is super good, right? In a sense, is really, really strong. Makes sense. But it's also can be very, very trolly because you can teleport your teammates around. So what if a teammate of yours doesn't pay attention? And what happens? They step in your portal. They go back to base. They're upset because they popped their Unite move. Now they're not there to do damage anymore. It's one of those things. This is why I think in solo queue, Hoopa will probably have a very hard time. But in coordinated stack, Hoopa's going to be a monster. Already is, but is going to be a monster in this game. And I'm excited for it. But either way, guys, thanks for joining, hanging out for a little bit. We did this for like an hour and some change. Got a little bit of playtesting done. We're going to see if we can hop into some standards and see how that goes. I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are excited to play Hoopa. Again, free Pokemon. All you got to do is just do the event. We can't buy it from the shop. We can't purchase it from the shop with gold coins or whatever you want to call it, money, none of that sort of thing. We can't do that. But we can have fun in practice games. We can have fun in standards with your buddies. And I'll see you guys in the very next live stream, the very next video. We probably will be out here later on today, live streaming games in standard and ranked or what have you with the squad. So for those of you just tune into that point, see y'all in a little bit. I'm glad we fixed the mic. I'm glad we fixed the quality audio. Don't know what was going on with that situation.